G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today is the day, well I actually did this last week, but I ascended Punisher 2099. He is my second ever ascended 6-star next to Omega Red. And he's looking beautiful on the top of the profile. So I might be wrong, but I think this is the world's first ascended 6-star Punisher 2099. Definitely not the best choice. There were definitely other options I could have gone with. If we actually filter by 6 stars, we've got, Dr. Doom. Not many people have actually ascended Dr. Doom. Nick Fury, Great Ascension. Ghost, Great Ascension. Kingpin, Great Ascension. I know some people have ascended Silk. Could have ranked 5'd and ascended Hercules. And the same with Hulkling. Nah, I went with my boy Punisher 2099 because I wanted to, and no one could stop me because he is such a fun champion. He is probably, I think personally, the most underrated tech champion in the game. I won't say the most underrated champion in the game, period, because that's a whole other debate. But he is very, very powerful. So I've got a bunch of gameplay lined up for you guys. All of the gameplay you'll see is with 5 out of 5 Col-Tech. Now, this is a very powerful mastery for him because with his battery and overdrive, he reduces the combat power rate of the opponent by 90%. There in overdrive, while in overdrive. Now with Col-Tech, I'm not sure exactly how this works. If you guys know for sure, please let me know in the comments below. But so in overdrive, he reduces by 90%, and Col-Tech at 5 points reduces combat power rate by 18%. Now I'm not sure how exactly this interacts with Punisher 2099 because if you're fighting a rank 5 6-star, for example, now each rank of 6 stars gets an additional percentage combat power rate. So I think for a rank 5, it's 120% combat power rate. So I think there's either two ways how it works. He either reduces it by 90% down to 30%, and then Col-Tech reduces it down to 12%, which is still even a bit high. Or it's more of a multiplication thing. So 90% of 120%, which is like 12%, and then 18% of that or something. I'm not exactly sure how it works. If you guys know for sure, please let me know. I think it's the first one. I think it's 12% combat power rate relative to 120%. So basically minus 108%. I think is how it works. But if you guys know for sure, please let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, let's get into the gameplay, guys. The first thing I wanted to do was actually just test out how much damage he could get before the opponent got a bar of power. Also, I'll go quickly through the synergies. So he has a synergy with Captain America Infinity War that lets him start with 25% extra battery, so he starts with 90%. And there's also a Thor synergy that lets him refund his first use of the battery, which will be the special 2, and then also the Punisher synergy, OG Punisher, lets him start with a quarter of his power. So we're in overdrive now after 2 cycles of the battery, starting at 107. It is quickly ticking down, as you can see. We're going to get special 2 as soon as possible, so we can, in fact, I'm going to actually move my face cam a little bit so you guys can see the power. We're going to get the special 2 off. That inflicts a massive armor break for 30 seconds. And you can see with 5 out of 5 Col-Tech, that power rate is barely moving at all. You can see he's already halfway down essentially, and he's barely got half a bar of power. And yeah, we're just hitting like a truck now. We're cycling a special 1s now to keep that battery charging. You can easily, if you're aggressive enough, you can easily get a full bar of power in the time that battery charge runs out. So you can have that battery charging pretty much the entire time that it's draining there. After that special 2. So the armor break did wear off, so we'd lose a little bit of our damage here, but we can still get some nice damage in because we still are in overdrive. We have an extra 7,000 attack rating, and he's gaining basically no power. And we can see with the last hit, he finally gets that bar of power. So that was 547,000 damage that it took to get a bar of power. And then I did another test. This is sort of a different strategy. In this one, I went for 2 special 2s because you can stack those armor breaks and multiply the damage. It is very tricky to pull off though. You have to be very, very aggressive, and you do need Thor's energy because you need to refund that first use of the battery. But we've got that first armor break off now. He's blocking a lot, unfortunately, so we have to stay aggressive as possible. Lots of intercepts, which is very hard with the passive Realm of Legends AI. So yeah, in Battlegrounds and other like more recent content, the AI is definitely more aggressive. But we did throw one special one just to get it charging a little bit, but we're pushing up to a special 2 now. There we go, and that second armor break does go on right as the first one's about to expire. 53k on that second special 2 there, and he basically got down in a similar amount of time. It was a bit faster, in fact. Alright guys, so we're in the Labyrinth of Legends now. This is the same synergy team, nothing different. Same mastery setup, but we're against this Labyrinth Starlord, who is definitely a much more aggressive opponent than Winter Soldier. Now here I really wanted to just see how much damage we could do before he got a bar of power. I really wanted to max this out, see how much damage we could get, because I will show you guys. You guys will be surprised how much damage it is, because it is much more than you guys will think. So we want to say really aggressive, of course, which is really easy to do when the opponent's gaining no power with 5 out of 5 in Col-Tech. So we can easily cycle these special ones, have them trapped against the wall, get some nice stand-up intercepts there. He's much better medium interceptor than a light interceptor I've found. His lights don't really have much reach, so I find it's much more smooth to do medium intercepts. The Punisher 2099. Now that armor break here from the special 2 is about to wear off, but like I said before, if you stay aggressive enough, you can keep that battery charging with the special ones, and it's very easy to stay aggressive when you don't have to bait any specials out. And so you can see we throw another special one. He's very close to a bar of power, but it will still be a few more hits before he gets there, and finally he gets there. I pause the screen and get out of the fight, and this is how much health he has left. So this is almost 700,000 damage he did without a bar of power to worry about. Alright guys, so we're into the Thronebreaker event quest now. I really wanted to show off this guy in Battlegrounds with Col-Tech. I haven't quite worked out the optimum setup to have Col-Tech and Mystic's Dispersion in the Mastery setup. It's very tricky to have both of them active at the same time, because Mystic's Dispersion is such a necessity for Battlegrounds, but I wanted to run it with Col-Tech as well. But I have to do some fiddling. I might need that extra mastery point from Necropolis when it comes in. But we're in Thronebreaker event quest right now. I don't even know if I had Col-Tech on for these fights, but this is such a fun path, or in fact whole quest that you can cheese, because basically when you throw or you build up hits and you get these great charges on you, when you perform medium ender, they get power drained. And there's other nodes where they gain extra power or something, but this with Punisher 2099 in Overdrive, they just get no power at all whatsoever. So we've got pretty much that full synergy team in that I showed you for the Winter Soldier and Starlord fights. And yeah, we've taken a Red Skull with ease. We're taking a Guardian now. It's actually crazy when you think about it. It's actually crazy how many champions become much easier defenders when they can't throw special attacks, right? Or when they can't get bars of power. We just saw that Red Skull there. If he can't gain bars of power, he can't get extra armor up buffs, so he goes down quicker. Guardian, if he can't get bars of power, he can't throw special attacks, he can't get those quicker force field charges. And there's multiple dozens of other champions that have annoying stuff from their special attacks or from gaining bars of power. You know, think of Domino, think of Bishop, think of Man-Thing, think of Gallon, think of all sorts of champions that get annoying stuff from their specials. Doom. If you go back to my Battlegrounds video, I talked about this as well. Overseer. So many champions that get annoying abilities from throwing special attacks or from gaining bars of power. With Punisher 2099, he can just shut that down. Now here, the Starlord had an Energize. I think that's probably from one of the nodes. I can't remember exactly what I did to trigger that. But we can easily just control that power with those medium ending combos. It's so fun. Now, he's definitely the best champion for this quest. Not that that's something that people are searching for. Counters for Thronebreaker event quests, really. But that's just a bonus he has. Yeah, so he really does shred this whole quest, and it's very fun while doing it. So I'll skip forward to the boss though, because that's the really interesting fight. Yeah, so I mentioned Man-Thing before. Punisher 2099 is a really underrated Man-Thing counter. He's not the quickest, but he actually works. I've done this in Battlegrounds as well, not in this current meta, but with Sugar Pill, of course, because he is Sugar Pill. And obviously now it's Hazard Shift. But if in Overdrive, you can reduce their power by 90%. Man-Thing, he can't place pustules on you unless he throws a special attack, so not really much to worry about. If you can just keep his power under control like this, it would be a bit of a different story without Col-Tech. But we can just cycle these special ones. Because Man-Thing is of course armor break immune, we can't really throw that special too. But we can keep throwing the special ones, keep the battery ticking, charging constantly, because even though we can't get the armor break, we still have decent damage just in Overdrive itself, because this guy has like 300,000 health. We don't have any other boosts or suicides on or whatever. 300,000 health, and he's going down in like a minute. It's not bad, if you ask me. Alright, so I thought I'd show off Punisher a bit in Act 8. So we've got a path from Act 8.1, 8.2, and 8.3. So this path here, you won't even be able to tell from these fights. But this path isn't actually an Aspect of War path. Now, Aspect of War was a very annoying node back in Act 6, I think was when it first came in. I might be wrong. It might have been no, I'm pretty sure it first came in Act 6. Because obviously if they throw special attacks, they go unstoppable, and then they go unblockable after a minute or so. But if they're not throwing special attacks, they can't go unstoppable. So nothing to worry about there. So yeah, there's also a node where if you parry, you get a Fury buff, I think. So that's where we get a bit of extra damage here. But this path got destroyed by Punisher. Yeah, you'll see the Fury buff here when we parry. We get a massive boost to our damage. I can't remember how potent it was. Well, it's actually not a massive boost because only 16k mediums. And you'll see what sort of mediums we get without it. Although this is with an armor break though. You see with the armor break and the Fury, massive damage. 24k lights. Nice. That's when I tried to light intercept. That's when I was testing it out. So don't light intercept with Punisher. Definitely stick to medium intercepts. Much easier to pull off. I had a bit of skill issue later in the path though. However, the regen did come in clutch here. So the regen really actually scales with the battery. So when you reach 15% health, it regens a certain amount of health depending on how much battery you do have. So the more battery you have, the more you regen. We didn't have much battery then, so we didn't get to regen much, unfortunately. Alright guys, onto the 8.2 path now. So this one this was a fun one. So basically you have to start the fight with the intercept to transfer the weapon node. And then you can capture it by throwing a special 2. If you throw the same hit twice in a row, they also get a unblockable buff. So that obviously can be problematic if they start throwing special attacks, especially unavoidable special attacks. But if we don't give them special attacks, nothing to worry about. They also, when you do capture that weapon node, as you'll see here, when you crit or hit a block, they do get staggers. And if they get a buff, they take like 200% of your attack. So yeah. It's a path that really anyone can do, so it's not really a massive deal that Punisher 2099 can do it, but it was pretty fun using him for it, because with his aggressive nature, he can just keep intercepting them, keep getting their staggers up, and it was pretty fun, to be honest. Even against champs that you wouldn't think he would do well against, like a Nihilist. So. Didn't start the fight that great because I got comboed there, but we got a nice intercept there, so that does disable the weapon node. So we have to get up to a special 2 to capture it. We are in overdrive now, so he's barely gaining any power. We do get him to a special 1 now, and if you don't know, the armor breaks do actually nullify his rod. It's not just a normal nullifier that does it. Armor breaks do work as well, so we're able to nullify his rod for a little bit there. I got clipped by the special 1. So he does have his rod now, but we can keep intercepting him. As long as we're not blocking or parrying or whatever, we don't have any special ones to worry about now. Yeah, the fight's pretty much over. So throw a couple special ones, and yeah, he's not too bad for a Nihilist, although you don't really see him that much anymore. This mortar was a pain in the ass though, as you can see from my health meter. I had to do this. I just restarted this fight a few times because it was being very uncooperative. But we we start the fight with intercept, same as the others. That disables the weapon node, because if you do block and get then dex, you do take a lot of damage from the dex being staggered. But we do capture the node with our special 2. We have to be very careful that we'll make sure that we're just hitting him, comboing him when that power gain does come up, so we can turn it off. Otherwise he will just turtle up and we won't be able to get a clear in, because you can use heavy attacks, but that does consume your battery. So that fight went really well after a few attempts. Alright guys, so onto the 8.3 path now. So this content obviously just came out the other week, and we've got a path here where we basically want to, it's actually similar to the last one. We want to use a special 2 to capture the node, or actually a striker first and then a special 2, so a bit different, because 8.3 is all about strikers. But this has also got I think redlining is the name of the node. I'll put it down here, all the nodes that you'll see. But basically you get an extra combat power rate between 1 and 2 bars basically. But if you get over 75%, all your power gets drained. So it's really good for cycling special 2s. You can get, you can easily get double armor breaks on this path, which is very fun. So yeah, even on 8.3 health pools, which is like 500, 600k, he's doing these fights in like 30-40 seconds, which is insane. Because he gets such quick access to that massive damage increase from overdrive. With that synergy team, it is a bit longer in battlegrounds without the synergy team, but he still does do all right. If you've seen my battlegrounds video with this guy, I can't wait to make another one once once there is a meta suited for him. I can take him back in as an ascended rank 5, perhaps with Col-Tech as well. Alright guys, so it wouldn't be a proper showcase if we didn't have some sort of boss fight. So this was actually the one of the trickier 8.3 bosses, from what I've been hearing from other people. They really struggled on this Misty Knight because of her immunity to ability accuracy reduction with this particular Misty, and her evades and the disorients she puts on you when she evades, and also her tenacity and all sorts of nonsense. But so Punisher doesn't really have anything special for this fight. Really, it's just the combat power reduction and the huge damage. Really, unfortunately, we missed the special one there, so we just throw it into block. But really, it doesn't really matter if you throw a special one into block or if it hits at all, because it doesn't do that much damage. The main function of the special one is just to charge your battery. It doesn't really matter about the damage. But we are actually healing from this disorient debuff that we have gotten. And I got some good practice dexing a special one. It's been a while since I've done it, but we got a good few dexes in, although I did get hit by a few of them later on in the fight. Alright, so we're back up to overdrive now. We've charged our battery again. She does have 12 of those charges that lets her evade. I think it's like a 3% chance per charge, I think, something like that, maybe a bit more. So she did do a couple double evades. We got hit by that special one, unfortunately, but it didn't really hit too hard, to be honest. She got another double evade there, which is a bit unfortunate. But we did get an armor break off there eventually, although our overdrive is almost dead. And we weren't really able to throw many special ones that battery run, but we just had to go back to it again. Alright, so a little bit later, we're back up to our third battery, overdrive. Now, yes, it's sort of a little showcase I wanted to show you guys that he can do more fights in just more than one cycle of overdrive. It is a bit slow compared to some other champs maybe, but it's still really fun. He's such a fun champion to use, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the fights you've seen here today, guys. Alright, so just one more fight to show you. This is another Winter Soldier fight, but apparently there's a bug. Shout out to my buddy J4 for telling me about this. So there's a synergy with Captain America that we've been using all day, that basically you get an extra 25% battery at the start of the fight with that synergy, but that actually, it's not meant to stack, but it actually does stack when you have extra Punisher 2099s on your team. So we're going in here with 4 Punisher 2099s. That's going to let him start with 165 or 70 on his battery, which is insane. If we go into the start of the fight here, you'll see we're immediately into overdrive with 165 battery because we start with 65, but each Punisher's 2099 gives 25. So we're just mowing down this guy in overdrive straight away. This fight isn't with Col-Tech, by the way, but it is with Suicides on, so we're just nuking this guy down just super quick. One special 2 gets him down almost halfway. His special 2 actually has extra crit rating, so it does actually crit more often than not. Didn't crit that time, unfortunately, but we're changing to a striker. We're going back to another special 2 because we have so much battery left. He's been super juiced up in this fight. So I'm going to throw another special 2 and that finishes him off with a big 71k final hit there. So that's a bit of a fun fight for you guys there. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the showcase. I really hope you enjoyed a lot of those fights. I hope you enjoy all that damage, that sweet damage, and of course that massive combat power rate reduction in overdrive. It is very, very powerful. It still is a very underrated part of his kit, I feel, especially with 5 out of 5 Col-Tech. So I do want to fiddle around with my masteries, try and see if I can get a setup that includes 5 out of 5 Col-Tech and 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, so I can run them both in Battlegrounds in the coming seasons, because I think it'll be very effective for Punisher 2099, but not only him. I think it'll be effective for some other champions as well. I've filtered my tech champions here because if we look at champions that would benefit, one is Ghost. I think she could actually be really helped by Col-Tech, not in a huge way, but when we want to cycle special 2s quickly with Ghost in Battlegrounds, if you do, like 2 phases and then a hit, 2 phases then a hit, if each of those hits is 18% less power, you can easily get to a special 2 and cycle special 2s to have a much easier upkeep of your buffs if they're gaining 18% less power, which doesn't, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I think you guys will see in the upcoming Col-Tech video I'm going to make in the next few days. It is really powerful. The mastery, it's definitely, I think it's the second best class mastery behind Mystic Dispersion. Obviously Mystic Dispersion is clear top. Mystic Dispersion is by clear the #1 best class mastery by far. There's no debating that. I'm not saying Col-Tech's anywhere near as good as it, but it is definitely an underrated one. So I want to see how well it goes with Ghost, with Nimrod, with maybe Warlock. It might not be great for Ardoom because he wants the opponent's power to be high, so it may hinder him a little bit. Shuri as well could be good, but the other thing to consider is how it works defensively as well, because if you're fighting a champion such as Warlock and you have less combat power rate, that could mess you up. Like if you're trying to Cosmic Ghost Rider Warlock and you have 18% less power but you don't know about it, that could mess you up. If you can't get the normal Cosmic Ghost Rider rotation up because you're gaining 18% less power, you can't get to special 2 when you normally could, fighting someone without Col-Tech, that may mess you up. So that's some sort of ideas that I'm fiddling with Col-Tech. It could be very interesting how it works offensively and defensively. So looking forward to showing you that video in the coming days. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Really hope you enjoyed this Punisher 2099 showcase. I'm so happy to have him as an ascended rank 5 6-star on the account. Really can't wait to get him back into Battlegrounds in the coming seasons and see what he's made of as an ascended champion now, if he doesn't get banned. Because even in the current meta, he is getting banned, because I do have him in my deck at the moment. Let me see, my champion deck. Yeah, he is in my champion deck right now. I think people are just scared of having to fight him because of that block penetration that he gets on the special attacks. It's not really a crazy block penetration. Like, he doesn't really have any extra block penetration in his kit, I don't think. Like, if you look at his stats, attributes, block penetration is 0. Yeah, he doesn't get any extra block penetration, and he's not a 7-star, so I can't give an extra attribute there. His stats aren't really anything amazing, really. 23% crit rate, 70% block proficiency is pretty good actually, but he does have a bit of armor rating, but nothing really outside of that that's anything to write home about. So yeah, But yeah, that's going to do it for me today, guys. Really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Comment what you'd like to see more of if you do want to see more of this guy in the game. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.